Mark Rogers TV talking Pitt running backs with Jim Hammett from Cardiac Hill on SB Nation. Jim, of course, James Conner, the heart and soul of this team for a number of reasons, the ability on the field, but also his ability to come back from the cancer prognosis and really battle back to get on the field and not just be somebody who's out there in a shell of himself, but gain 1,000 yards again. 2014 ACC Offensive Player of the Year, 56 touchdowns over his career. So he's going to be missed for a number of reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. James Conner was, he was Pitt football. He was the face of the program, and he was so good last year. And, he kind of started slow, but towards the end of the year, you saw in that national stage against Clemson, he had a big game. And, he really added an element of receiving this year. He had 21 catches for 300 yards. So he just did so much, and he deserves to go to the NFL. I'm glad he's able to take his talents there, but I also think there's some talent still around, and it's going to be a pretty fierce competition for the #1 job.
Jim, I'm curious about Qadree Ollison, because 2 years ago when Conner got hurt against Youngstown State in the opener, Ollison picked it up from there, gained 1,100 yards, scored 11 touchdowns, and he was just a freshman who was not expected to carry the football and instantly proved to be a formidable running back. But last year, pretty much after the Penn State game, didn't see a whole lot of attempts. Other guys were thrown into the mix, so Qadree Ollison's fighting for a job.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he does have a 1,000-yard season to his credit. He was the ACC Rookie of the Year, so he obviously has the ability. He kind of fell out of favor with the coaches, and I'm not so sure it's it was something he did, but I think it's something that the other guys brought. But Ollison is kind of a bigger back. I think they question his conditioning at times, but I think he's going to come into spring ball with something to prove, and I mean, he has as good a shot as any to win this job.
Darren Hall carried a handful of times, caught a couple passes. Shantez Moss was a guy that got into the mix with 227 yards rushing, kind of set the stage for what the competition looks like.
Yeah, I think Shantez Moss is someone that they were really excited about. He had a good freshman year. He got himself injured midway through the year, but he did have a big game against Marshall, a 90-yard performance. So he showed some flashes. And Darren Hall, he's played some in his freshman and sophomore years. And again, another guy that has shown flashes. I think the real the wild card in this race is the two freshmen coming in, both 4-star recruits. Todd Sibley from Akron, Ohio, kind of a more between the tackle, physical back. Then also from Lakeland, Florida, AJ Davis. Probably a little more speed than the other 4 backs. So I mean, I think between all 5 of those guys, everyone has a chance to get carries. So it's really going to be a fierce competition to see who's the #1.
Yeah, Davis and Sibley, both basically top 20 rated running backs, according to most of the major services. Davis out of Florida, and as you mentioned, Sibley out of Akron, Ohio. George Aston not going to be the back that's going to be in competition with the rest of these guys, but more as a fullback guy coming into his junior season. Definitely, wow, with 10 touchdowns to his credit. Obviously, that guy that gets the football down near the goal line, but also a capable pass receiver with 22 receptions.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of an unsung hero of this offense. Like you said, he caught 5 touchdowns, rushed for 5 touchdowns. He was really a safety valve for Nathan Peterman. They had a good rapport. So, he's a weapon that Matt Canada used very frequently. So, with a new offense coordinator, I think they're going to have to carve out a role for him just because he's so reliable. And, you don't expect much from him from a fullback, but he really can catch the ball. He can make plays. He's a good blocker. He's a really good fullback, and that's kind of a dying breed in football these days.